Hello and welcome to Charlotte's Lookalike Library. This is a brand new series that I'm trying out where I show you some common lookalike plants and how to tell them apart. Today we're going to talk about two native grasses here in North America, Broomsedge, Andropogon virginicus, and Little Bluestem, Schizachyrium, scoparium. Actually, fun fact, this used to be an Andropogon, very closely related. There's still some debate as to whether or not it should still be an Andropogon, but regardless, they are some really lovely grasses. Little Bluestem is often grown as an ornamental in a lot of gardens. It's actually a really good indicator of remnant grassland ecosystems. Broomsedge is commonly found in old fields and pastures, maybe less commonly planted in gardens, but it's actually a beautiful ornamental as well. And we're going to look a little more closely to see how to tell them apart. So we're going to start with Broomsedge. It's a much more robust grass. That contrasts with Little Bluestem. I mean, if you look at these next to each other, Little Bluestem is a much more delicate stalk. The stalk itself is narrower, not as hardy and robust and stiff. And when they're more mature out in the field, you'll actually notice that Little Bluestem sort of has, I would say, like a fountain shape. And these nice thin fronds will grow upwards and kind of flop outwards like a fountain. Broomsedge, I'd say, is much more upright, straight. The stiffness and hardiness of the stalk, I think, lends to that. And then looking more closely, a second feature is, I mentioned the leaf blades. You'll notice that the leaves on Broomsedge, they wrap around the stalk like a sheath, and they grow pretty frequently up the length of the stalk. So you'll actually see some of the seeds are coming out of this, and they're concealed in these leafy bracts. And that is different from our Little Bluestem here. You can see there's actually not very many leaf blades coming out, and where they are, they're quite small, and they're not concealing these seeds and these inflorescence or flowering tops. They're not concealing them in a very leafy structure. They're actually much more open and diffuse. One more feature I want to point out, Broomsedge takes on a really nice straw colored, if you think of a straw bale, it takes on that color. And so you'll see these tufts of Broomsedge that stand tall throughout winter. There'll be snow all over the ground. These will be poking through. But Little Bluestem takes more of a reddish orange hue. It doesn't get that really sort of dry straw color to it when it's at maturity through winter time. This is Little Bluestem, and here's a leaf blade, and you can see these little fuzzy white hairs. And so, especially when the plant is young and you see a seedling of Little Bluestem, you'll notice that there are hairs on the leaf blades, and it takes a little searching, but you'll still find them in some of the more mature leaves. However, compare that to Broomsedge, and it's a very big difference. You don't have to search very hard. Look at how hairy the leaf blades are on Broomsedge, and it continues up into the sheath. Look at all the hairs, all the little white hairs on there. And make your way up, and you'll see that this continues, even on the spine of the sheath. Moving closer, and look at that. Zooming in, if we take a closer look at the seeds and the inflorescence of each grass, we'll notice there are some key differences as well. And this is actually important if you're going to key these plants out through identification key, which we're not going to do, but I'm just going to point out some features here. This is Broomsedge, and a distinguishing key break to tell these two grasses apart, and this is something you can see in the field, is that this has a pair. Broomsedge has a pair of, it's called racemes, but to simplify it, you've got this row here of the seeds, and here's one of them by itself, and you have a second one coming out. And so at each node where the seeds are coming off of the stem, there's a pair. And this is actually an important break between Andropogon and Schizachyrium, which is the Little Bluestem. So if I bring in a Little Bluestem, this is what you'll see at every node for the inflorescence, and you'll notice this is just one, it's not a pair of racemes, this is one raceme, and here's another close-up. To sum it up, some key features to distinguish these lookalikes are 1. Size and growth formation, 2. Color at maturity, 3. Leafiness, 4. Hairiness, 5. Concealed seeds, and 6. The number of racemes. Thanks so much for watching this first episode of my new Lookalikes Library Plant ID video series. Please subscribe to my newsletter for updates on when new videos may come out. Thanks again for watching and happy exploring.